Hi, my tarot friends. Today I am creating a video that got inspired by Sarah from Tangi Tarot, and it was a video where she was talking about her first 5 decks and her last 5 decks that she got. And I find that a very fun idea to do, something where I can reflect on myself, like I can reflect on the type of decks I was interested in at the beginning of my tarot journey, and how is my taste in tarot changing, how is my understanding of tarot changing through different decks, etc. So I created a hashtag called myfirstmylasttarot. I deliberately didn't put a number there because I feel it's a personal choice, so feel free to choose how many first or how many last decks you want. Sarah went for 5 and I decided to go for around 6. I say around 6 because you will see later why. So let's just start. My first tarot deck was Osho Zen Tarot, and it's a very interesting story behind this because I got this in 2018, and at that point I had no idea really what tarot was. I've heard of it from, the movies, and we had, like, in my country we had this famous tarot reader that was doing his thing on the TV in the 90s and I think noughties as well, and there was a lot of stigma about tarot in society. I suppose it still is, but in my head, like, I had those things, and I don't know why. It says obviously tarot here, but I just used this as, and I actually used the spreads and everything, but without knowing I was doing tarot, which is really interesting. So basically, I don't even know why I got this. Like, something called to me, and I just got it. I think I was reading some books from Osho at that point, and I was like, oh wow, this looks interesting. So I don't know what version this is, because I have a feeling that the one that I'm seeing on YouTube lately is a different version. So this is originally it was done 1994, and this is 2003 edition. Interesting. So I have the booklet looks like this. So you get commentary and then a little bit more about the card on this side. It's very interesting. So anyway, let me show you the deck. It's been such a long time since I used this, although I used it so much when I got it. So basically, the cards have borders. I'm not sure if the ones that I've seen online have borders or not, like the ones that I've seen on tarottube or tarottube. Anyways, this deck really helped me through a hard time when I was struggling at that time work. I used to be a teacher in the UK, and I'm not even going to go in that, but yeah, it is very challenging and hard. So this deck really helped me through those challenging times. And yes, I used the spreads that are in the book. I used it daily for a very long time, and I didn't even realize that I was doing tarot. Like, something just drew me to these cards and to work with them, and yeah, I am very surprised that it's really interesting. I just didn't realize. And I didn't understand the major and the minor arcana. I mean, I read the book and it it's very used. I read the booklet and I just didn't get it at that point. And I didn't really care. All I cared was that, like, each card had a meaning, and that meaning I applied to my situations, and that's it. So this is a very interesting story, and I used this for years before I started actually learning about tarot and doing my A course. I did A course on tarot, which very kindly my partner got for me, and that just changed my life forever. For better, for way better. Anyway, so this was Osho Zen Tarot, my first deck. My second deck was the Modern Witch Tarot deck by Lisa Sturley, or Sturl. I'm not sure how to pronounce her surname. I apologize. And I got this deck when I was doing the course, because I knew that it was a Waite Smith clone, and yeah, it has all the symbology in it, which is great. So I used it literally to study. Literally, I got their journal book as well, which, let me show it to you actually. So I got their journey book as well, and what I did was I studied every card, and I used books as well, obviously different books in their little booklet, and I just wrote down everything that I felt the card represented. And then after I finished all the cards, I stopped using it because maybe, I don't know, I just realized that this deck was not for me. I love the idea of it being modern, of it being diverse, really relatable, many different types of people seeing themselves in this deck. But it's just, even though it's a very cool deck and fun deck, I don't know, I just couldn't use it. I talk about this in another video. It's probably the cardstock. It's very plasticky and hard. It's a very thick deck. So it was a good study deck, but that was it. And I will give this deck away. As you can see, it's it's not used at all. I literally just used it to study. And it was a good study deck. Like, it gave me a modern perspective, a twist on the Waite Smith, but that is it. The next deck, then I had to get obviously the original, Waite Smith. This is the Universal Tarot deck, and yeah, I think everyone knows this deck. I mean, not everyone, but most of you know this deck. And yeah, it helped me really get into my practice, and I use this deck a lot because it is absolutely amazing. We all love Pamela Coleman Smith's work, and yeah, the only thing that I did not like about this deck is it's not diverse at all, and that is a big thing for me. I want the people I read for to feel, seen in the cards and to relate to the cards, and yeah, so because of that, I started looking into different decks. At that point, I didn't even realize what a sea of options we have as tarot readers or tarot enthusiasts. What a sea of options we have to get our decks. So yeah, when I realized that, then the whole new thing started for me. Oh, I actually edged this deck. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's like this golden-ish edging. It's very pretty. But yeah, this is a deck that I literally do not use anymore at all, but it's an amazing deck, and it's full of depth, and I feel that actually there is so much hidden in this deck that we still don't know to this day, because Waite didn't want everyone to understand everything about it. So maybe one day I will deep dive even more into this deck and try to see things that are not very obvious, let's say. So this was my third deck. My fourth deck was the Lightseers Tarot, which I created a full review of, a deep dive, so check it out here. And I feel like in this community, most of people know about this deck. It is an amazing, modern, diverse-ish deck that is full of color, full of expression, which to me is very important. It's such an easy reader. This deck really, really connected with me, and I connected with it, and it just changed my practice forever. Like, it opened my mind. I was not stuck in that box of, each card should mean only this, although the Waite Smith messages come through this deck beautifully. But I don't know, it just opened that door for me. And it's modern, but it's more dimensional, and it's very spiritual, but also grounded at the same time. So I really like that about this deck. So this deck really changed my tarot game forever. So I'm very grateful for it. So yeah, this was my 4th deck. My 5th deck was Mermaid Tarot by Lisa Robertson, illustrated by Julie Dillon. And this deck, I spoke about this in another video. When I saw it online, I was like, oh my god, this is my soul deck, because if you know me, I adore the sea. I love water. And so yeah, I edged it in this beautiful blue, and I just, yeah, this is literally the last card I talk about in the last video. And yeah, it's just, this deck is absolutely beautiful, and I literally sat down and studied each card for days, because the messages did not come through for me very easily in this deck. They just didn't. They still don't really. I mean, I know the messages, and I could literally just take it and, you know, roll with what I know. And a lot of the cards, they speak the message very clearly, but some of them just don't, and that throws me off. Personally, a little disclaimer: everything that I say in this video is my personal opinion and my personal view and my experience with specific decks. So please, if you feel differently, you know, that's your perception and your view of the cards, and that is okay, because we all are different, and that is beautiful. I love the fact that we all like different things and different decks and connect with different things. So yeah, just please don't be turned off by me not liking certain decks, or, you know, running to buy them if I like them. You know, proper research your deck before you get it, because I got certain decks like this one just because, you know, I didn't take enough time to research it. I just saw a few pictures and I was like, I'm sold, it's beautiful, and then I got it and it just didn't work for me. So I don't know, I think I will keep it just because the art is so flippin' beautiful, and maybe one day, I don't know, maybe one day I will change my mind and start using it, but I just don't use it. Like, it's not used at all. It's just edged, and I flip through it, I don't know. And yeah, so I don't want to spread negative vibrations out there, but this is just something that, you know, if I had to buy it again, I wouldn't, let's just say it that way. But yeah, this was my 5th deck. Also, I got it not only because it's water themed, but because it's beautifully diverse. So yeah, many things to love about this deck, but I just can't read with it. It's weird. And then my last deck in this category is the Waite Tarot. So I got this deck because, you know, I do love Pamela Coleman Smith's work, and like I said, I feel that the original deck holds many secrets that we are probably not even aware of yet. So I got this deck because the coloring of it is different, and in the guidebook they talk about that we don't really know what the original coloring is, so this could very well be it. You know, so it's, what called me to it is the fact that the colors are more bold and like very more dreamy, like they're more smudgy and it's a bit darker, I'd say. But also the fact that they tried to make it more diverse, as you can see here, for example, in the Magician, because that's one thing that bothered me in the Universal Waite Tarot deck. So I got this and I used it a lot for reading, for people, because I feel certain people still like to see the original looking decks. I feel like they believe in the magic of tarot more when they see, I don't know, traditional type of cards, which is very interesting. But yeah, so this deck I love profoundly. At the moment I don't use it much because I have so many other decks that I just absolutely adore. So yeah, this was the Waite Tarot and I love it. It's absolutely beautiful and yeah, if I would have to use a traditional deck, I would go for this one, not for universal. This is the category of the new decks, the last decks that I got. So most of these decks that I'm going to show you, I literally got in December of 2023, because I knew that I'm doing a new buy to 2025, and there were certain decks that I really wanted to have. So I just got so many in 2023 December. So yes, like literally within a month, all of these decks and more. But yeah, I chose these to show you. So this is the Margarete Petersen. I'm not sure, because she's German, how to really pronounce her name. So Tarot Margarete Petersen. And this deck is just, it's so beautiful. So basically, for those who know me personally, know that I love art. A lot of my family members are artists, and they are painters and sculpturers, etc. So art is a big one for me, and I feel like it opens a certain channel in me when I look at artistic tarot decks, and this is the first huge thing that I notice compared to the first decks that I got, and the new ones. You'll see the new ones are very different, very arty, more, I don't know, just I feel like there are strings that are connecting so many more things in this one's more obviously, like it's so hard to put it in words because English is not my first language, but yeah, I feel when I'm looking at these cards, just so many things that I learned about tarot come through in a very unpredictable way. It's really interesting, and yeah, they just make me feels like I feel things when I look at these cards. It's just absolutely incredible. It's so layered and deep and emotive and just cool and gorgeous. Look at that. Can you see this figure swimming in the water? Or like it's actually a shadow of a person swimming in the water. Amazing. So yeah, Margarete Petersen is a tarot deck that I want to dive in. I want to do a series on it. I want to explore every card. So in the future, stay tuned. I'm definitely going to do a series, like we're talking about many episodes focusing on specific cards, on all the cards, but like in each episode I'm going to focus on one or a few cards and really dive deep into it. So yes, I absolutely adore this deck. So this is Margarete Petersen Tarot. The next deck that I got is Japaridze Tarot by Nino Japaridze. OMG. This tarot deck is just so gorgeous and a very obvious read, really. I thought, like I spoke about this before in other videos, but I need to, one thing that I wish that the box would have is a little ribbon so I can pull the cards out. I think I'm just gonna stick it in myself or put it in a bag. But yeah, this deck, man, something was calling to me with this deck. It's very interesting. Like I said before, shout out to Robyn from Robyn's Reflections, because she is the reason why I got this deck. She did a review of this deck, and then I asked her in the comments if she really uses it and how she finds it, and she said she loves it and that it's an easy read. I'm paraphrasing something amongst those words. So she said that she's using it to read a lot. So, because I was worried that I'm not going to be able to get the messages through the cards because they are very artistic and out there. And man, I just love it so much, and it really is an easy read to me. It makes sense. Like all the cards make sense to me, and I love it so much. It's so beautiful. It makes me happy every time I look at the cards, because like I said before, I love art so much, like fine art. I love fine art so much, and Look at this Hangman, which is called the Drowned here, which I love because obviously the Hangman is a water card in Tarot. So it makes so much sense that it's the Drowned. Oh my god, I think this is probably my favorite Hangman card of all time. It's just so beautiful. I mean, another one is the Shimmering Veil Tarot, which I'll show later. Oh, that's where they were. But yeah, it's just this deck makes me feel a very huge palette of emotions. Maybe because they used a huge palette of, you know, different shapes, figures, colors, and everything. Oh, look at this! It's so beautiful. So yeah, I am so happy I got this, and if I had to repurchase it, I would, because even if it was more expensive, and I'm so happy that it's mass market. Like, I am very grateful for that. So yeah, it's just so good. It's really hard for me to put in words how much I love this deck. I feel it brings a different perspective to each card, and the book is written in a really nice way as well. Look at that Six of Fire, makes so much sense. And yeah, there's a theme throughout, like you have balloons and this clown type of figures where they appear throughout the whole deck, which makes it very playful and childlike, really. You know, that wonder comes through when you're using the cards. Is that wonder within you? It's like, oh, I wonder what this means. Let me explore. What is this Two of Wind? You know, oh man, I feel like with every card you can go so deep and just use it intuitively as well. Like, you can use it obviously knowing your Rider-Waite-Smith messages, but also intuitively. How cool is that? Four of Gardens. Gardens are Pentacles. So Four of Pentacles is all about not feeling secure, right? Technically. Having things, having abundance, having physical things, or maybe wanting it. But yeah, like, I love how here he is playing himself, literally. Like, he is by himself, playing with himself, because he's alone. He has it all. Like, he has it all. It feels like the landscape kind of looks like Nine of Pentacles type of landscape, I would assume. Like, but he's playing himself. He's just him. And does he really have it all, or is all just an illusion? It's like, and it's very, you see the square here, because fours are all about boundaries and limits and, you know, stability. And it's like he is stringed into this cage of a house, and he's doing it by himself. Is that? And there's like a little bird telling him, hey, look around, you know, step out of the cage that you created yourself, that you think is comfy and nice and secure. Anyway, sorry, yeah, so, oh, look at that. Oh my god. Anyway, let's move on, otherwise I'm just gonna stay here and talk about this deck forever. So this is the Japaridze Tarot. Truthfully, I feel when I created the video about 10 plus 5 minus 4, truthfully I wish I put this still in the first 10, because yeah, it just creates this warm feeling in my chest every time I look at these cards, and I feel happy. Next we have the one and only Thought, or Tot, or Thoth, or whatever people want to call this deck. I say Tot. So yeah, I got this as a gift, as a Christmas gift from my partner, and I am so grateful, because this is one of the decks that I would definitely want to take with me. If I only had a chance to take, let's say, 3, this would be one of them, because there is so much in each card, so much, and I'm still learning Tot. I'm not gonna pretend that I understand it, fully, because I don't. I'm still learning Tot. I'm in a process. It's on my to-do list for 2025. I want to deep dive into this deck. But yeah, it's just I don't need to understand it to know how important and how precious it is, if that makes sense. And I trimmed mine, as you can see. I haven't edged it yet. I probably will. I'm not sure what color. Maybe blue, because I got turquoise, because that's the colors I love, or green. But yeah, it's just amazing, and I love it borderless. I can see the charm of it having borders as well, but personally I prefer it without borders. I feel like the pictures just stand out more. And I got a really good book with it. I'm just gonna show it quickly, that I feel really helped. I mean, obviously the Book of Thought is something that I will read in the future, but to just start understand the symbology behind this deck, I'll show you quickly the book that I have, that I use to learn. So this is the book that I use to study it. It's just such an amazing book. I know we're talking about decks here, but it's just such an amazing book. It looks at every card from so many different perspectives. So for example, you have here quickly the instinct, goal, the guiding principle, light, shadow, and quality of the card, and then you go into the foundation about the card, what it says in the Book of Thought. Then you have the figure, so the wise man, the hermit, the hand, the posture. Then you have surroundings, so you have symbols, Orphic egg, snake staff, underworld, pyramid of rays, and then on the side you have the number, so you can quickly find it as well. And then you have more. Then you have interpretations, the background, general, consciousness, for profession, for relationships, and then you have analogs, correlation, so you have archetypes and symbols, so you have letter, archetype, number, tree of life, I Ching, runes, zodiac, deities, mythology, and also so many other things. I mean, it's just, I really, really, really love this book. And I started studying, like I said. I am not going to pretend like I know a lot about Tot, because I don't. But what I was reading in this book, it all makes sense, and it's such a great book to study Tot, in my opinion. I mean, I watched a few videos on YouTube for suggestions, and this book came up a lot, so I do suggest it if you want to learn Tot from a very scholar type of view. So if you want facts about it, this is it, organized facts, organized information. So yeah, this was Tot, and I just adore this bag. By the way, I will link the Etsy shop for these bags in the description below, because they have absolutely amazing bags. The shop is in the UK, so I'm not sure how much it would cost to be shipped to America, but it is very affordable in the UK. I think this bag was like 15 pounds or something, or maybe less, and they are just absolutely amazing, these bags. I have like 7 or 8 of these bags, and in the future I will definitely get more for the decks that I really love. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the shop. I will write the name here. The next decks is the Shadowscapes Tarot. So I got the English version, and I got the Czech version. So they both came within 2 days difference, I think. And to be honest, I ordered Czech version because everyone on YouTube was saying how much bigger it is and how much more you can see the pictures and etc. And to be honest with you, to be brutally honest with you, the price I paid for this is not worth it, of the size of the cards, because it's really not that much of a difference, as you can see. Like it is bigger, but it's also glossy. and the cardstock. They were saying the cardstock is better on this one, but it's way more papery than this one, so I still prefer Llewellyn's version. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this one. Now that I use it a bit more, I was thinking to trim it and all that, but now I'm not really sure. I think I might just keep it for a while and then pass it on. I'll see how I feel. But yes, anyway, I did not want to get this deck. I think I talked about this before in one of my videos, but I didn't want to get this deck because I'm a rebel in my soul, and because everyone was getting it, I didn't want to get it. Like, I've done this a lot in my past, like because everyone was watching the Grey's Anatomy, for example. I didn't watch it, and I only watched it like in a lockdown. I started watching it then. I finished the whole thing in the lockdown, really. But anyway, it doesn't matter. My point is, I usually, I don't know, it's silly. I don't do things because everyone else is doing it. So everyone was loving this deck, so I was like, nah, not for me. It's too, I thought the colors are too smudged, let's say, that things don't stand out. But it's kind of a beauty of this deck, to be honest. Like, you need to take time to step into each card and to look at the details. And thankfully there is an app that you can get for like £3 or something, and you can zoom in each card and see even more details, and the colors are just beautiful in the app. So if they did another print, it would be great if they made the cards bigger, if they made them matte like this, and if the colors were like they are in the app, because they're absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, the point is, this deck is marvelous. It really speaks to my soul. Lately, I've been into fae people and fairies much more than I used to be. And oh wow, look at that. 10 of Wands at the same time. And here you see the difference. It's not that much bigger, is it? It really isn't. Like, I can't see details much more than I can see it here. I really can't. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe because my vision is still quite good. I don't know. Whatever you want to do though, if you want bigger picture, do get it. But anyways, what was I saying? That lately I have been into the fairies and the fae people a lot. Like the elementals. I really feel that their presence and their energy. And so this deck really works for me so well. Like, it gives me such accurate readings. I can see things from a different perspective. It's just, oh, it's so good. Like, so this is another deck that I will do a really deep dive into it. I will look at it under the magnifying glass. That's a hint for my new series. Series' name. Anyways, so yeah. Oh, look at that, how beautiful. So this was the Shadowscapes Tarot. It's so beautiful that I just want to go through the whole deck again, even though, and it smells so good. Like, if you are a card smeller, which I am, because I like to awaken all my senses when I do tarot. Oh yeah, gilded edges with this one. This deck smells so good, the English version. I got the version that is in a small box, just because I didn't want to have a huge book, and I have the app, so I thought I don't need a big box, and I wanted to keep mine in a bag anyway. So yeah, the English version smells absolutely amazing, and I keep it in this bag that I got on eBay for £5. I do not name the name of the shop. I will link it up below. The bags are okay. They are not even, to me, these ones are way more expensive, but the quality is much better. These ones are cool though. The material is I don't remember, I'll write it. And yeah, they're good, but they're for small cards. That's another thing. I got so many of these because of the price was so good, and the cards don't fit in it. So the Llewellyn cards go in it well, but if it's a little bit bigger, then it doesn't fit. So just a side note for you. Next, we have the Unfolding Path Tarot. Yay! One of my faves. One of my new faves. If you would like to see a deep dive and a review of it, click link up there because I have recently done it. This deck is absolutely amazing on so many levels. I talk about this, in that link up there, but yeah, it's just diverse on all the levels and inclusive on all the levels. And one thing that I love about this deck is how colors speak the messages through. Like they you can just look at the colors and the way they are painted on the picture, like how they communicate with the environment around them, how they blend into each other, how they are somewhere darker, somewhere lighter, how they're connected with other colors. It's so good. The coloration of this deck is absolutely amazing, and the white background makes it creates this space for the color to shine. And it's also like one needs to also focus on how it bleeds into the corners or sides of the cards, because that's important as well. I feel like it's really important, because you see somewhere you have like more straight lines, and somewhere you have more round lines, and somewhere you have more just like here there's no real structure to it. It's kind, Knight of Wands is all about, Knight of Cups is all about, having your heart on the sleeve and being very romantic and flowy and stuff. And this card feels really flowy and romantic and like a dreamy type of person. Not dreamy, they are caught in a dream world type of person, there's no structure, you can see this with the strokes and with the colors. It's so good. And here harmonious is like two circles coming together with colors. It's so good. So that's just one aspect that I wanted to point out that I think I didn't point out in my previous video. So yeah, I absolutely love this deck, and it is so affordable as well. And I'm so happy I got it. So happy. This is one of the decks that I'm entirely grateful for YouTube community, because they speak about it quite a lot. And if they didn't, I wouldn't get it, because I would just think, oh, it's too similar to the Lightseer's Tarot, but it actually isn't. And it brings so much more, to me, it brings so much more flavor to each reading. So yes, this was the Unfolding Path Tarot. And now we're coming to the last two that arrived on the same day. That's why I put them together. So I'm gonna firstly show you this one. It's again in a pretty bag that I got from that shop. You can find the link down below. It's on Etsy. And this is the Liberty Tarot. I have cut my edges off because the edges of this really bothered me. The backs, we have adjustments. And yeah, this deck is something else. That's what I'm gonna say. It is thought based. I wouldn't say it's a complete replica of it. It brings its own charisma to the picture. It has the minors take that main essence of thought card, but then they also add their own things at the back. Unfortunately, there's no guidebook with this. I mean, you get this tiny one that really doesn't explain any symbolism, so I really wish it existed so bad. But I've been digging in the tarot forums, and I'm slowly finding information on the card. So when I study tarot, when I start studying thought like deeply, I will also study this one at the same time. And yeah, it is just so cool. I love this deck. There's something about it. It's so magnifying and just amazing. There is a lot of nudity though in it, and other things that are not for children, so yeah, make sure that you keep it away from kids. That's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, it brings so many layers to the table, and I cannot wait to dive into this one. So this is the Liberty Tarot. And last but not least, we have the Shimmering Veil Tarot. Now I got this tarot again because of the tarottube. It is very loved in the community, and I understand why. I got it so quickly as well. Like, I ordered it and it was here in like 3 days. I mean, I think that the artist is based in the UK, or the place where they sell the cards from, like her shop is based in the UK, because I have a feeling that I watched her interview literally yesterday, and I think she said she is based in Italy now. So anyway, it got to me in 3 days. These are the backs, and I love this shimmering, literally shimmering sides of the deck. They're so beautiful. It's like I don't know if the camera is picking up, but it's the rainbow type of gilding is beautiful. So this deck is another of my arty type of decks. It's just, yeah, it kind of reminds me of Japaridze Tarot in a way. I know that the art is completely different, but in the way that it makes me feel. So it brings that type of feeling to my chest of it awakens creativity in my thinking, and it is absolutely gorgeous, obviously, but I don't know, it's just otherworldly, and the guidebook is done so well. Like the creator touches on quantum physics and other sciences as well. And yeah, oh, look at this star card, man. It's so beautiful. And the sun. Wow. I was journaling in these 2 cards the other day. I meditated on them. And yeah, it was a very interesting, literally, trip, I'd say. I had a trip with these 2 cards. I don't want to go into too much detail, but basically what the messages that I got through these cards were basically that you are your own star, and that the star is also the sun. The sun is the star. So it's finding that strength and hope and everything within yourself, because you are the sun, and then you need to shine through. Yeah, so, and more than that, but just this was one of the things that came through, and I was like, whoa, okay, it makes so much sense. So yeah, these cards are so good as well. They have a little bit more dark feel to them compared to the Japaridze Tarot, for example, or Margaret Peterson. And I do not love all the cards. I'm gonna say I do not love this devil. It does make sense, it does, but just don't love it. I do love this emperor though. Look at that, you can see like geometry within the card, so cool. And yeah, this is literally the last deck that I got in 2023, and it is the last deck for me for 1 year, because I'm doing a no-buy in 2025, unless some kind souls will, gift me a deck, or gift me a deck for my birthday or whatever. But I am not gonna buy any decks myself. So yeah, this is the last one for a very long time, and I'm happy with it. I'm very excited actually to do a no-buy, because I cannot wait to dive deep into the decks that I already have, because I have so many. And yeah, I love them all, or 98% of them. And feel free to create a video VRing me and using this hashtag, which is myfirstmylasttarot, and feel free to choose how many decks you want to, and yeah, reflect on your taste in tarot when you started and now. And just to do a little conclusion here, I can see that my taste in the decks changed drastically. I am more drawn to complicated decks, to decks with depth, to decks with fine art, to decks that speak to me on a more spiritual, abstract, metaphysical, quantum physical level, I'm gonna say. Decks that are different, decks that are multi-dimensional, decks that are not 2D, like I do not like the cartoony type of decks. Decks that are technically, I'm not drawn that much to modern decks, although the Unfolding Path Tarot is very modern, but there's something about it that is just different. I don't know, maybe the watercolors, you know, it makes it more arty. I say artsy, I'm not sure if this is even the word, but yeah, I've been through this whole deck now, so I'm gonna stop. But yeah, so I can definitely see how my taste in tarot decks changed, and I know that in the future, in the years to come, it's probably gonna change again, and that is okay. And I'm very interested to hear what type of decks are you into, what is your, you know, last few decks. Please write in the comments below or create a video response to this. I would be very happy to listen and learn about your tarot journey through different decks. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.